So you guys know how much I nerd out about cars like this, and a lot of you do too, surprisingly, so you all are nerds. But today, we got this 2005 Toyota Camry SE V6 as a trade-in, and I wanted to show you around Toyota's sports sedan of the mid-2000s. So this one is a 2005 Camry SE. So you could get two different engines with your Camry SE in 05. You could either get a 2.4 liter four-cylinder or a 3.3 liter V6. This one has the V6. And if you're wondering what the SE had to offer over an LE or an XLE back in 05, you got blacked out headlights, a different front grille, gray 17-inch alloy wheels, while the SE four-cylinder has silver alloy wheels that are 16s. You also get a rear spoiler and darker taillights. People don't mention the taillights enough. Toyota also claims that you get stiffer springs, stiffer steering, and stiffer anti-roll bars in the SE V6. So it should handle better, but remember, it's just a 6th gen Camry. You can't forget the black emblems that came standard on every SE. Like I said, you could get two different engines in your Camry SE back in 05. You could get the 2.4 liter four-cylinder or the 3.3 liter V6. This has the 3MZ FE V6. It's a 3.3 liter V6. In the SE, it makes 225 horsepower, so you get 15 more horsepower than a normal LE or XLE V6, which make 210 for you nerds out there. 240 pound-feet of torque is what this engine makes as well. And it's paired to a 5-speed automatic and only front-wheel drive. I feel like this would be a cool 6-speed V6 Accord competitor if they made a 5 or 6-speed manual with the SE V6. I don't know if that was available. But Toyota pretty much used this V6 in almost everything that they made back then with the V6. They used this in the Toyota Sienna, the Lexus RX 330, the Lexus ES 330, so many things that are 330 with the 3.3. It's a proven V6, it's smooth and very reliable. Also, another nerdy factoid, I almost fell down. This engine has been technically being produced since the the early 90s with the early 3-liter Camry. That was called the 1MZ FE. They use that in everything. I mean, the RX is based off of the Camry, so it makes sense, but that's an interesting factoid for you nerds. Now, you can get into the trunk of your 2005 Camry with either pulling the lever on the inside by your foot, pushing the key fob button, or just like the olden days, we don't get this anymore, turn the key, then the trunk pops open. Now, the trunk of these is actually pretty big. It surprised me when I first opened the trunk. The trunk of this has a lot of junk in it because this is exactly how we got the car when it was traded in. But I don't know an exact cargo figure, but I think it's around 15 or 16 cubic feet. It goes back really far and it's really wide. You could fit, I think, 2 or 3 adults in here that are, you know, crunched up, or a lot of toys, you know, like stuffed animals or whatever else you put in your trunk. Also, I almost forgot, the rear seat is a 60-40 split. You have a full-size spare tire with the wood that's kind of corroded, but you have a full-size spare tire. I'm really surprised about that because I had a 2007 Accord, which this car competed with, more rambling, that had a donut. So props on you, Toyota, for giving this Camry a full-size spare tire. So this does have a full-size spare tire, but clearly from the B-roll, it's been used already. In the back seat of the Camry, there's actually a lot of room back here. I mean, that's normal for these old, you know, 2000 sedans. Like, I'm 5'9", the driver's seat is in my seating position. I can fit my feet under the seat really comfortably. I have a lot of leg room. I'm really comfortable. I think 3 grown-ass adults could fit back here. I don't know where I was going with that. There's not a lot back here, there's map pockets. There's an armrest with 2 cup holders, and the armrest is soft, comfortable. There's no rear air vents or no rear climate control, but you do have these air vents that point to your feet. I at least think that Toyota intended them to point to your feet, but it works with the front climate control that I'll talk about in a second. Also, something that surprised me with this 6th gen Camry, I don't know if all of them have this, is this rear sunshade. It's not electric like a Lexus would get, but it's an actual sunshade that clips up and clips down. It's really cool, actually. Toyota marketed the SE to be more of a driver's car, I mean, for a Camry, so I'm in the driver's seat. First of all, the quality of these older Toyotas is up there. It's really good. It's not like the 90s, how everything was soft, but you know, they were going back to that. They had a period of time where things got a little bit chintzy. Honestly, I think that's the 7th gen Camry. There's nothing special about that. It had the V6 in it, but yeah, that's it. But we're talking about this car. The seats are in impeccable shape, especially for the mileage. I mean, you know, it's not a lot. I've seen them with double the mileage in just as good of condition, but they're comfortable. They're not that soft. They're not really that supportive, but this is a Camry. But the black leather is pretty nice. All the little touches of the SE are nice. I am surprised that it's full power. That means with, you know, electronic lumbar. That's pretty nice. The passenger seat is manual though. The SE V6 gets a leather wrapped steering wheel. It's a 3-spoke steering wheel. The horn has a good sounding horn. Oh, I scared a dog. But you have audio controls on the left and, you know, Toyota's cruise control stock on the right. The headlights are automatic, but not the wipers. Going up to the gauges, they're orange in this car. I don't know if that's special to the SE, but they're easy to read. There's not a lot of information on them. There's no trip computer in this Camry. But for anyone high school aged to extremely senior aged, you won't have any hard time reading how fast you're going. You also get a lot of plastic brushed aluminum trim in the SE, which looks nice. Of course, if you got an XLE, you'd get wood trim. The head unit is a doubled in. I mean, it has the JBL audio system, but no nav, of course. You have a tape deck. There's no tape in it. Because this is the JBL unit, it does sound good, and it's stock, and you know, stock speakers and everything, and it has a sub. I think it has a sub, but it sounds good. But you know, if this was my car, I would switch it out almost immediately. You have single zone climate control down here. The XLEs would get dual zone climate control and automatic climate control, but this is more based off of an LE. You also have heated seats, but I can see this is an older Toyota design because you can either turn them on or off, just like my old GS 430. There's plenty of storage in this car. There's, you know, a nice pocket here. There's 2 tiers for the center console. And then it's actually soft as well for the armrest. Everything that you put your arm on is nice and soft. The cup holders are actually pretty big too, which is interesting for older Toyotas. But there are no cup holders in the door pockets. Yesterday when we got this car, we actually got this yesterday, so I lied to you. I was looking for the owner's manual in this stack of papers, but it's not in here. Not the owner's manual, the window sticker. But there's not much else. I mean, there's a sunroof, you know, sunglasses holder, visors, you know, but no lights? Wow, that's cheap. Well, I mean, I can't judge it that much, but let's drive the car. The car. So, inside of the 2005 Toyota Camry. So as soon as I saw that we had this car in our lot, I actually got kind of excited because if you are oldies to the channel, you may know that I had a 2007 Accord V6. So, you know, they kind of competed together at the time, and you know, I was like, oh, you know, SE V6. I wanted to review one of these a while ago, and now we found one. Let's see how the kickdown is. Okay, I need to close the sunroof. What? There's more wind noise now. So I'm going to do, let's say, a 40 roll. It's not bad. Like 200, this has more torque than horsepower, unlike the Accord V6 of the time. I kind of want to find a bit of a twisty road and see how she takes these roads. I'm wondering what road I can take. Driving normally, the engine in this is really smooth. Let's see. And the steering is light, so I don't really know what Toyota was talking about when they said that they put heavier steering on this car. I haven't driven a normal 6th gen Camry, I don't think ever, so I can't really judge the heavy steering so far, but this is lighter than the Accord steering. If you are one of those people like how I was when I was 16 or 17, comparing a 2005 Accord and a 2005 Camry, both V6s, the Accord has heavier steering and it feels more like a driver's car. This, I still feel isolated from the road, but I honestly think that's a good thing for the people that would be buying this car. Let's see how the power is here. It's very smooth power. It's very smooth power. That's why I understand why people like these and why the V6 in this was never meant to be a sporty car. At least, you know, how I perceive it as. This was meant to be more of a smooth, let's do a pull. Is there a camera on this road? Just like a strong surge of power and good power, healthy power. The ride also is something that I don't understand how it's stiffer, because this ride's, I mean, not soft. It has, you know, it's kind of like a perfect medium for something like this car. Because if I was buying one of these, I would want it to ride softly anyway. But handling wise, it actually, you know, it's tight. It's tight. Like the steering is responsive. It's just light. You still get road feel. We're gonna see. There's a dump truck that's gone very slowly. I'm not gonna give it the beans, but you know, it's very quiet too. It is interesting when I got back into my GS. That's really quiet and really isolated from the road. So you can notice the difference in quality. I would now like to drive an ES330 to see how smooth and quiet that is. But if you haven't figured it out already, I like these mid-2000s cars. That, you know, when cars started to turn into computers for me, that's when I stopped really caring not much about them, because, you know, they're just computers. These were the last few years of the cars to have, you know, like a soul. Well, I was gonna talk about the handling of this car on this corner, but honestly, it actually is sharp. It doesn't feel tight and ready and sporty, but they can't make this platform of car, you know, any more aggressive, because people don't want that. It's very smooth. The transmission is smooth too. It shifts smoothly. Like, Toyota really cared about their powertrains back in 2005, or even when this 5-speed auto and this 3.3 liter were first produced. So my friends, thank you for watching this video, this review of this 2005 Camry that we got as a trade-in. I'm not sure if we're gonna sell it or not. If it is for sale, this will be the video you've come from the website to see. But I wanted to make this video for myself and you guys, because no one really makes videos of these Camrys, or at least, you know, that are higher production than, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna film with my phone. But I'm rambling. But thank you for watching. Thank you for just watching and supporting the channel, and I hope more of you continue to support the channel as I and the channel grow, and my peeps, as I may call them. But hope you like the video, comment and subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, peeps.